Hello, and thank you for joining Paper Crafting with Tracy. Today I'm going to show you how to make this loveliest tree card with making a sunset in the background and using a bit of a template for that. So what we're going to start with, and I don't know if you can see that so much on the video, the shine, it is embossed. So we're going to start with a piece of white cardstock, and I've made a little template. And all I did was cut out a 3/4 inch border all the way around just to do my shading. And how I line this up is I just line it up at the top, and you can see it's not as long as this, the base, because I wanted a spot to do my sentiment. And then I just somewhat lined it up there. You can see there's a bit of an edge on each side. And the reason I did that, I had it overhang, was because the first time I did this, and I don't think I have the card or the example to show you, is the blending brushes edged the side of my cardstock that was going on here, so it showed on the edge here, and I didn't want that. So once you get it in place, all I do is put my fingers in place to hold it there. And I can see a little bit that my cutting was a little bit off, but that's okay. So I'm going to start with some crushed curry, and we'll just put that on. And remember to start off the page so that you don't get a splotch, kind of like what's in this corner here. So start off, and then if you start off light, you can always add more. So and remember, you're going to be building, so you don't want it super dark. And you can see I got a bit of brush marks there, but that's okay. It's actually not going to really show. Okay, you just want a little bit there to the start of the sunset. Okay, so we'll put that one aside. Next, I'm going to use some pumpkin pie. So I'll get another blending brush, start off, and I'm just going to start up a little bit higher because I'm creating the layers of my sunset. Like I said, you can go light and you can always add more, but you can't take away. Okay, so again, it's not showing in great detail, but it will. And part of that is because of the matting that I used is an orangey color, so it's taking that away a bit. Next is Cajun Craze, and this one's going to show up darker, so just be very careful. So you can already see that one changing. And I don't want it too dark. Next, I used Melon Mambo. Oops, just get it off my fingers that I just dunked in there. This is just to give some of that pink sky. And finally, I used Cherry Cobbler. And this one can be quite dark. So again, just be careful as to how much you're putting on there. I just wanted it some on the edges. Like so. And then you can see what happens when you take it away. So let me just close up a couple of these ink pads so that I don't accidentally dunk any paper in it. Okay, this is actually quite a quick card to make. Okay, so we'll put that aside. Next, we're going to get some Memento, the Tuxedo Black, and I'm going to use the tree stamp. Now, the stamp is bigger than my ink pad, so I just run it over top. And being that it's black, it shows up easily that you can tell when it hasn't been inked very well. And then I'm going to use Thank You because I'm going to do two at once, and I want to get everything stamped fairly quickly because I'm going to apply the embossing powder directly to the colored ink. Okay, so we'll put that on there. There we go. And I want my sentiment to have embossing powder on there too. I'll just cover that up, get the embossing powder out, and I'm just using a clear so that it shows the colored ink underneath. There we go. Just make sure I got enough on my sentiment there. Perfect. Now, as a word of caution, before you ever use your heat gun, make sure you cover up your embossing powder, or you will just have a big glob of melted embossing powder. I'll turn our heat gun on here. And I'll just heat it up. And if you're not familiar with embossing powder, you'll see it change color here pretty quick. There it goes. It becomes a vibrant color. Just adding that clear on top of the black. Make sure the sentiment gets done. And I just run it over. Make sure I got everything. Now I do find this stamp has got some areas that are lighter in it. There we go. Okay, so that's... Oh, and the other thing I'm going to do while I have my ink pad out is I'm going to take an inside piece of cardstock, and there's just a little leaf that I'm going to put on the inside. Just so that the inside of the card is got a little bit of decoration as well. Just like that. So then we're just going to assemble the card. It's a fairly straightforward card. So I'm just using some Cajun Craze as my matting. And we'll do the same with the front. And then we will mat that on our card. Okay, you don't even have to put a sentiment on this card, and you can use it as an all occasion card. So we will get that all lined up here. And now the inside. And there we go. A quick thank you card. Making our own sunset and using some embossing powder. And the stamp set, Loveliest Trees. There is a die set that goes with this, which I didn't use this time. So I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Paper Crafting with Tracy. Please subscribe to the channel, and happy stamping.